the weight of a dream. People see the rockets. They see the cars, the headlines, the billions. But what they don't see is the cost. Elon Musk wasn't born into peace. He was born into pain, bullied, beaten, and misunderstood. While other kids played, he dreamed, and his dreams were too big for the world around him. He would sit alone, reading books about space and science, not to escape reality, but to create a new one. He once said, "I didn't have a happy childhood." And you can feel it in the way he works, in the way he never stops, as if he's still trying to prove that he deserves to exist. Every genius carries a wound. Elon's wound was never visible. It lived inside him, whispering, "You'll never be enough." That's what pushed him. That's what built Tesla. That's what launched SpaceX. Not the love of money, but the fear of failure, the silence of loneliness, and the fire that comes from being doubted too long. The world calls him fearless. But the truth is, he's fighting fear every single day. Fear of losing everything. Fear of not making it in time. Fear that all this might mean nothing. Behind the inventions, there's a man who barely sleeps. Behind the success, there's a soul searching for peace. He once said, "I would like to die on Mars, just not on impact." But maybe what he meant was, "I just want to find a place where I finally belong." This is the part of the story no one claps for. The part where a man builds everything and still feels empty inside. But the story isn't over, because pain doesn't always break you. Sometimes it becomes your greatest fuel. The price of greatness. When he built Tesla, people laughed. They said, "Electric cars, that'll never work." When he launched SpaceX, they mocked him again. A private company sending rockets? Impossible. But what they didn't see were the nights he slept on the factory floor, the days when Tesla was days away from bankruptcy, and the moments when he had to choose between his companies and his family. He once said, "I had to borrow money for rent. I invested everything I had." Imagine that. The man who wanted to change the world couldn't even afford a place to live. Every failure, every explosion, every loss, it broke him a little more inside. Yet every time he fell, he stood again. Not because he was unbreakable, but because he refused to stay broken. That's the truth no one teaches. You don't need to be fearless to change the world. You just need to keep going when fear whispers, "Stop." Elon's friends told him to give up. The world said he was crazy. But he said, if something is important enough, you do it. Even if the odds are against you. That's not ambition. That's survival. Because for him, quitting was more painful than losing. He believed that humanity could do better, that we could build cleaner cars, reach other planets, and dream beyond profit. And while people called him selfish, they didn't see the sleepless nights, the heartbreak, the moments when he'd stare at his phone, waiting for a miracle investor, or a message that never came. He learned that the higher you rise, the fewer people understand you. But that's the price of greatness. To walk alone, to be misunderstood, and to love a dream more than your comfort. Elon didn't just build machines. He built proof that one person's pain can become everyone's progress. And though the world still calls him extreme, he keeps going. Because he knows that behind every impossible dream, there's a man who refused to quit. The loneliness of success. Success looks beautiful from a distance. Lights, cameras, applause. But up close, it's quiet, sometimes painfully quiet. Elon Musk became the man everyone talked about. Yet he had no one he could really talk to. When SpaceX finally launched successfully, the world celebrated. But he sat alone that night, not because he wanted to, but because that's what success does. It gives you everything people dream of and takes away the simple things you never thought you'd miss. Laughter, warmth, connection. He once said, "It's lonely at the top because you can't tell people what it feels like." People think he's a machine, but machines don't feel heartbreak. Machines don't stay awake at 3 a.m., scrolling through memories of people who left. Elon lost relationships, friends, peace, all in the name of progress. He built rockets to escape gravity, but couldn't escape the weight inside his heart. Sometimes, when you chase the future, the present slips away. He gave the world innovation. But what did the world give him back? Criticism, pressure, expectations that never end. And yet, he keeps moving, because that's the only way he knows how to live. To keep building, keep trying, keep dreaming. The truth is, Elon Musk doesn't just chase Mars. He chases meaning. Every rocket that lifts off carries a piece of him. The boy who was bullied, the man who was broken, the dreamer who refused to be ordinary. He could have chosen an easier life, but easy never inspired anyone. So he keeps walking that lonely road, not for fame, not for money, but for purpose. Because when you've been through pain, you stop chasing happiness and start building something that lasts longer than you. And maybe that's what Elon Musk is really doing. Not building rockets, but building hope. Failure doesn't break him. It teaches him. Every setback becomes fuel for the next launch, the next invention, the next dream. Elon Musk doesn't just build companies. He builds possibilities. He imagines a future others cannot see and then works tirelessly to make it real. People see the wealth, the fame, the headlines, but the truth is quieter, harder. It's the sleepless nights, the lonely dinners, the sacrifices that no one applauds. And yet, he smiles at the challenge, because Elon knows that real meaning comes not from comfort but from creation, not from applause but from impact. Every rocket that soars, every car that drives itself, every battery that powers a home, they carry a piece of his heart, his soul, his relentless spirit. He is not just chasing success. He is chasing a future where humanity reaches further, dreams bigger, and refuses to settle for ordinary. And in that chase, he inspires the world, not just with technology, but with courage, perseverance, and the belief that one person can change everything. Elon Musk is more than a man. He is a reminder. No matter how lonely, how hard, how impossible the road, those who dare to dream relentlessly truly leave a mark on the world.